Hey guys, today we're going to be going over some gas versus electric savings, so if you're interested in this type of data, stay tuned. Hey guys, so this is some of my actual data that I used from basically when I did my Arrow Hubs little test. And so if you can see up here, I just took a subset of data from when my Arrow Hubs were on. So this is, I guess, the best data that I got, the most efficient data that I got from that test. So in that test, I drove 554 miles. I used 124 kilowatt hours of energy. And, when you do the math, it's 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So that's the data I'm going to be using for the Tesla, for the energy side. And gas right now around our area is about $3.59. And I'm comparing it to my Civic that I have that gets about 35 miles a gallon right now because it's an 04, it's kind of old. So, there's obviously more cars out there that have better MPG, but, this is the car I'm using because this is real life data for me. So 35 miles a gallon. And so this kind of data I put together, I base it on a year. So let's say you drive 15,000 miles a year, which I think is pretty standard for a lot of people. A lot of people might drive more, but I guess 15,000 is a good average. And so my kilowatt hour cost for PG&E, since I have an EV, on the EV rate is 13 cents a mile. So that's the data points that we're going to be using to calculate all this stuff. So when we look at this, 15,000 miles times 35 miles a gallon, that comes out to be 428 gallons that you're going to use to drive 15,000 miles. So at $3.59 a gallon, that's going to cost you a whole $1,538. Now, if we were to do this on the whole kilowatt hour side, you're going to use 3,358 kilowatt hours of energy, and at 13 cents a kilowatt hour, that costs you a whole $435.99. So your total savings, Tesla Model 3 compared to my Civic is $1,100, which is quite a bit of money for a year. That can pay for a lot of things. That can pay for your insurance. Basically that would almost be my insurance for free. So this year my insurance was like $1,400 for the Model 3, which I think is kind of high. I went over this whole thing in my video on how I finance my Model 3. So my insurance is $1,400, but I think I could probably get a better rate if I looked around a little bit more. So basically we'll just kind of pretend, okay, it's $1,100 is pretty much my entire insurance. So that could just pay for that outright, and I wouldn't even have to pay insurance, quote unquote. You could pay for food, groceries, things like that. If you wanted to save it for a trip, you could use it for that. So $1,100 is quite a bit of money per year. And, this also depends on how much gas fluctuates. It could go down, but most of the time gas seems to kind of go up. So you could save even more, in the long run. And we're just talking about gas savings here too. As you can see on this chart, it's really it's energy versus gas. That's it. I'm not talking about any type of maintenance things like oil changes. The engine has an air filter you got to change, spark plugs, major tunes every 30,000 miles. So all that stuff is not included. This is just straight gas. And I know some people are going to argue that $3.59 a gallon for gas is kind of expensive, which is partly true because I do live in the Bay Area, which is probably some of the most outrageous prices in the country for everything. And that if you live somewhere else, that means you're not going to save as much because kilowatts is going to be cheaper. But then again, also gas will be cheaper in that area. So it's kind of all relative. So I'd like to think that this savings is going to be pretty, a pretty good range, or this will be a pretty good idea of how much you're going to be saving per year based on standard of living. So if we take a look at supercharger rates on Tesla's website, right now, at least in California, they charge 28 cents a kilowatt hour, which is kind of a lot. So if you're to have a 240 plug in your home like I do, I can get my 13 cents kilowatt hour, which is a lot cheaper than paying 28 cents. That's less than half. And so, you're obviously going to get more savings if you fork over that initial, money to actually install the 240 charger. But it'll be worth it in the end. So I took a look at Gas Buddy just to see how gas prices were trending. And I was actually kind of surprised that gas prices are actually going down a little bit right now. But if you look at this trend, on the graph, you can kind of see it goes up and down. I just feel like with inflation, gas prices are going to continue to kind of go up over the years. And if it doesn't, well, then OPEC is going to do something about it. They're probably just going to raise prices artificially because they feel like they want to make more money or are greedy, or whatever. So they'll just reduce production of the actual oil, and there you go. They'll make more money. Now all this data is based on, obviously if you charge at home at my 13 cents, you could also, like I said, charge at Tesla, which is going to be way more expensive. But there's also some other free charging companies that just give you free energy. So actually what I've been doing recently is I've been, obviously supercharging at Tesla because I have the 6 months free, so it doesn't cost me anything right now. I can get energy super quick. And there's also this company Volta, you guys have maybe heard of it. They basically just give free energy out to anybody who wants to use it. So I think their business model is they set up their energy stations, and then basically what they do is I think, like the one that I go to is basically, it's part of the mall that is really close to my work. And so I think the mall actually pays for the energy. So basically I get free energy for basically literally letting my car sit at work. And so this company Volta, that's how they work. And so if you can find free energy like that, maybe you have some Volta chargers around your area, they're level 2 chargers, then you can get free energy. And this isn't even relevant because it's really zero. So it's even better, more savings for you. And that's something that you cannot get with gas. There's no free gas really. You can't go to a gas station and ask for free gas. That doesn't work. So this only works with energy. And so it's another advantage of having an EV car because you can potentially get free energy. And so my analysis here is just on 1 year's worth of data. So based on my calculations here, like I said, I'd be saving $1,100, but down the line, you're going to be saving this $1,100 or maybe even more if you're getting free energy per year. And so, that can lead to some big things over the long run. Maybe you want to, what I would probably do, since I'm always looking at ways to save money or make more money, is invest that money. So you could put it in stocks or a mutual fund or something, depending on how much risk you want to take. And you can make this $1,000 grow into like $5,000 later or something like that, So there's always, things that you can save for down the line. Or maybe even if you want to think even bigger, is maybe you could put all this away and save it for a down payment for a house later. You'd probably have to invest the money very aggressively to do that, but hey, it could be an idea down the line. Or better yet, I think this is a more attainable goal, is if maybe say you save this savings for 5 years, you maybe have $5,000-6,000, maybe even a little bit more, and maybe you put that towards getting solar panels for your house. And that way you can save even more because now you're getting free energy from the sun directly to your car, and this is not going to be as relevant anymore. Maybe it's going to be half as much because of all the energy you're getting from the sun. And you know that you're getting green energy, not coal energy from maybe PG&E or your utility company. So to seeing data like this, knowing that you can save probably about $1,100 a year, if even more, entice you to maybe get an EV or look into a Model 3? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.